On this episode of Fly Fishing Unfiltered, we cover how to dress for cold weather fly fishing, including layering strategies, body-specific tips, and the hacks to keep you warm and on the water longer. Hey everyone, David, Northwest Fly Fishing Outfitters, coming to you with another Fly Fishing Unfiltered. And today we want to talk about something as we change seasons that prevents some people from getting out and fishing. And Zach, we were just on the Deschutes yesterday. I got cold.
It's a little cold out there, David.
It's definitely getting cold. And so what we want to talk about is how we as guides and people who fly fish year round, because I don't think you hang things up when it's cold.
I do not. I actually love the cold because it thins out the crowd. So
Yeah.
only the hardcore of us. This is where we separate the men from the boys.
Men from the boys. But however, we're going to talk about how maybe some of the boys can actually get out there and fish at the same time.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. We make it better for everybody, and there's a few simple hacks. I mean, there's some obvious ones, but we've got, since I've started guiding, I've learned so many just tricks of the trade, little life hacks to like really keep you warm, and we thought we'd share some of those with you.
We're going to definitely share those and break this down today. And so what I would like for you and I to do, from guys who spend 365 days on the water, let's break it down for our viewers today from the bottom all the way up to the top. We're going to break this down by section on some of our hacks that we do to stay warm and make sure that we're able to get out there all year long.
Absolutely.
So let's start with feet.
Feet. All right.
Feet is one of the places I know where a lot of people get really cold right out of the starting gates and can make for just a miserable day if our feet are cold. So let's talk feet.
Yeah, I mean, they're the furthest thing from your heart that's pumping the blood.
Yep.
And so there's a couple tricks that you can have. And some of these I do, most of them I don't. However, I still hear about them, and I've got boot foot waders.
Yes, you do.
So
that makes a big difference.
If you've got the money and you do a lot of fishing in the winter, if you're a winter steelheader, I can't tell you how much of a difference that those make. One, in convenience of just getting, it's wintertime, taking off your stuff, putting it on. Like, I want to be quick.
Yep.
And I am in and out of my waders so fast. And the boot foots, they have more air in them. There's, your feet aren't like as close to the water. You got a layer of protection. They are awesome. But they are expensive.
They are expensive.
So a couple other hacks that I know are just, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that you just need blood flow. A lot of people really cinch down their boots, and you're not going to want to do that. You're going to want to leave as much room as possible. You don't want to cut off circulation when it's already going to be going slow because of the temperatures. And so make sure to leave some room. You can layer up on socks, but don't do it too much to where it's suffocating your feet.
That's great.
Yeah, we stay away from cotton.
Yes, and let's talk a little bit about that. Why do we stay away from cotton?
Because it pretty much acts like a sponge. What it does is it does not evaporate.
Gotcha.
Things. I'm cool with cotton. I like jeans. I like t-shirts. But yeah, for wintertime fishing, it's just a no-go. It's going to get damp. Not even from water getting in, just from your sweat, because you'll still be sweating. You're all choked up with all these layers, so you'll sweat when you're hot, and that stuff just won't evaporate. That's going to turn cold and get you cold.
Excellent.
And there's certain fabrics like merino wool, which these socks are over here, and they evaporate super easily. So not only wool socks are great, but wool socks are kind of huge. Merino wool is
where it's at.
They're just the best.
Yeah.
And there's lots of different brands. We've got these Sim socks here that are incredible. We all love them. I just bought myself another pair today. And these are fantastic. You can also layer up. You can put a thin sock underneath that, something poly, not cotton, and that'll just give you a little more room. And just make sure you got a little wiggle room in your boots.
Absolutely, and I do want to echo that. So anytime we constrict blood flow, we're going to feel like our extremities are getting colder. So as Zach said, this is not the time to be putting on 4 pairs of socks.
No.
Not at all. And so really one of the things that I personally will focus on is I will do some form of moisture wicking sock, a real thin sock. And then I do personally love these Sims socks as well. I love them for a few different reasons. Number one, they're going to keep your feet warm even when they're wet. And we're going to talk a little bit about wool with our hands. But the other thing I love about these is they're like knee-high socks.
Oh, totally.
And so this is going to give me some warmth all the way up my shins, basically to my knees. And I just think it's a fantastic product. But the big takeaway, don't overstuff your boots, okay? That is going to make it to where your feet feel cold. Stay away from the cotton socks as well.
Absolutely. And we do have options in this day and age where it's time to be alive. We got Bluetooth socks.
We do.
They heat up your feet.
Can you play music on your Bluetooth socks?
I don't know, but I'm going to try, dude. Yeah. Gonna have
no need for turtle boxes anymore. You just play music from your feet.
I just got Kendrick on my feet. And yeah, it's pretty cool. I haven't done them. My lower body has actually always kind of been fine. Yeah. I don't know where I got that, but yeah, like comes from my dad. My dad would always just be, he was never wearing waders. He was always totally fine.
Yeah.
And so I'm lucky when it comes to that. There is also, there's toe warmers, like the hand warmers. They got the sticky ones you can stick on top of your socks. And so they don't really mess with the feel of the boot because it's up there.
Yeah.
But we do got those options as well.
I think those are great options. I want to cover a hack.
Okay.
And I know that you talked about boot foot waders, and yes, you're right. I have boot foot waders. They are extremely warm. But as you said, for some people, they're a little cost prohibitive.
Yeah, they are a little bit.
And so I want to cover a hack for boot foot waders, which is a little bit more affordable than going out and getting yourself another pair of waders.
Yeah.
Are you ready for it?
I'm ready.
All right. So we've got...
Ah, yes.
these wet wading socks. Simms makes them, Orvis makes them, Squala makes them. They all have their own form of wet wading socks. So no matter if you're buying them here from our shop or somewhere else, the hack is you put these on like you're putting on a sock, right? So we've got these socks, and I'm still going to wear a pair of socks like this or a moisture wicking sock. Then I'm going to put this wet wading sock on as if I was putting a sock on. This is going to eventually slide into my waders.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to end up having is a double layer of neoprene. And
that's gonna be good.
It is extremely, extremely warm.
Oh, yeah. That'll help. And we do have in fact, I think these are the only ones with gravel guards.
Yep.
Now the Orvis ones.
We have ones without gravel guards as well.
So they'll probably be the better ones for this particular hack.
And so what you're going to do, again, you're going to put these on like a pair of socks. You're going to then get into your waders. Yeah. The only caveat to this is you may need to have a little bit larger of a boot because, as we talked about, we're not trying to overstuff our boots. And so if you put these on, you do this hack, and you go to put your boots on, and your toes are crammed in there like you're a rock climber trying to get into your rock climbing shoes, you're probably going to want to upgrade and have an additional pair of boots. Now, a pair of boots... and these wet wading socks, I think these are like $59 or something like that, and there's less expensive options out there. But a pair of boots and these guys right here is going to be significantly less than a pair of a boot foot waders. Plus, you're going to have a second pair of boots that you can use anywhere and everywhere. So that is a hack that will certainly keep your feet warm all season long, and we are about making fly fishing affordable and accessible to all people. So if you don't have the money to shell out for a pair of boot foot waders, this is your hack. Okay, and we've got another hack coming up later, but we want to give you guys some quick, easy wins to make sure that your feet and other things are warm all season long. So, anything else you want to cover on feet?
No, I think that's probably about it.
Okay, excellent. I am personally one whose feet get cold all the time, and I know what your hack is. You grew up in Alaska.
Yeah.
This guy, like, he'd probably be out there in shorts right now, and I'm bundled up like the kid from A Christmas Story. I can't put my arms down.
Totally, yeah. You gotta layer up, and but yeah, like Alaska, I do have like I'm prepared for the cold, but also it's a different cold up there.
It is.
This cold gets in your bones.
It
in
does.
Alaska, it's not that. It's very dry. It's much easier to deal with, and we're just used to it. We kind of grew up like that, and so yeah.
All right, well, excellent. Next, we are going to break down our legs and how we keep our legs warm. So we'll get to it right now. All right, so that is great. We covered the feet, so now we're going to move our way up the body.
Up the body. I guess we got legs next.
We got legs.
Yeah.
So, Zach, walk me through kind of as you're out there, and I know you do a ton of winter steelheading. I mean, hell, you can walk right out your back door and be on the Sandy River fishing for steelhead.
Absolutely.
So, what are you doing on your legs to keep your legs warm?
Well, I went out. It's all about just layers. But you don't want too many because you don't want to be restrictive. And we'll get into the upper body soon. But there's clear reasons you don't want to do that. But for your legs, I like movement. I also just get annoyed with layers, and because you can peel them off, yes. But I figure I can move. I can if I'm moving more, then my legs will be warmer. They'll be pumping more blood. So I don't do a lot. I just do. But I do a really nice thing. I went out and I spent quite a bit of money on a very nice base layer.
Okay.
A very nice mid layer. And the ones I have, when you get the nice stuff, what's nice about it is they're always warm, but they're never hot. And so it's I got some good gear, and that truly makes a difference. And there's plenty that you can buy. I mean, just in town we got Columbia. We've got you got REIs here. You got a bunch of good stuff. Sims makes a lot of great stuff, a lot of great base layers. But you're gonna want the same thing. No cotton, but you're definitely gonna want base layers, some Long Johns, and a couple different tips for that is when you're putting your socks on. Also, like stretching some, like I know that the some of the things like some Orvis wading pants will have like stirrups.
Yep.
So when you get in your waders, your like pants
your
don't
pant
hike
doesn't
up.
hike up. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't have those, some people think they're uncomfortable. I don't. They are a little weird at first. They stay down. It's good. But a lot of the nicer mid layer stuff is going to have a thing to keep it down. If not, just tuck one layer into your socks and have your socks that go over it, so that way nothing hikes up, everything stays cool and not bunched up, so you're comfortable.
100%.
And there's not much more to that. Just remember to stay away from cotton. So no, just like regular cheap sweatpants. Get something. Fleece is fantastic. And but you're gonna want to stay away from the cotton and just layer up as you choose. We had Joseph. We were talking with Joseph. I think he does like 5 layers.
Yeah, he goes a little overboard with the layers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great in case you fall, and we're going to talk about falling in the winter months.
Yeah.
Because you got that extra padding on your knees.
That's true.
But as you said, it also is going to restrict movement and honestly make the day not very enjoyable.
But you got to find your own level.
100%.
Because you don't want to be too hot, you don't want to be too cold, and we want you comfortable. Because every time we go out there, the main purpose of this is fun. And with steelheading, punishment. Because it's atonement for all the trout you catch all summer.
And I mean, I'm a guy who chases trout all season long. So
100%.
The Deschutes River in the middle of the winter months, my coldest day fishing the Deschutes ever was 6 degrees.
That's pretty cold.
And it's so cold that the moment I got out of my waders, they froze instantaneously.
Standing straight up on their own.
I'm walking like a mummy. But for you, you're doing a base layer, you're doing a mid layer, and are you doing an outer layer on top of that as well? Or
nope,
you
just waders. Just a really good mid layer.
Okay.
And then the waders. And like I said, if you can, have wintertime waders and summertime waders, because you want the lightest thing possible, and you kind of want the most protection in the winter.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of obvious, but just more money. But hey, we're a fly shop. We wouldn't be doing our job if we weren't trying to sell you some stuff.
That's right. We are a for-profit, believe it or not. And that's what keeps these videos going.
Keeps all the nonprofits going.
Yeah, that's right. However, I also do want to say that as we're going to talk about in this video and other videos, there are other ways, like you suggested, REI, Columbia Sportswear. I mean, hell, we got Columbia Sportswear employee store in our backyard.
Yeah, totally.
And so some of those base layers that are just absolutely incredible. Some of their titanium products are fantastic.
They are. Make a huge difference.
So like you said, base layer, mid layer. My personal mid layer is either the Sims or the Orvis. They're really thick pants. They do have the stirrups in them, so my socks aren't getting bunched up.
Yeah.
But they're also fleece. So it's kind of like 2 layers in one. And so I've got my base layer, I've got the fleece, and then the pants. And my legs stay incredibly warm. I really appreciate the hack in terms of your socks, and I want to touch on one part of that, and that is as we stack layers on top of layers, and we make sure that we're not having any open spaces to our skin. Ultimately, what we're doing is we're trapping that heat in there.
Oh yeah.
And we've all had those days where maybe we fart in our waders. It ends up traveling up, right?
Yeah, and that's good. It keeps you warm.
Yeah. What we're also trying to do is a similar principle. We're trying to keep all that heat, keep everything inside, because just like a surfer on the Oregon coast, and people are like, how in the world can you surf on the Oregon coast? You do it because you got the proper gear, and all that water warms up and it just stays within your body, and you stay plenty warm. So we're going to touch that as we get into kind of the neck. But I think that's great. These are all wonderful ways so far on the lower body to stay warm. And so we're going to transition right on up to the torso. Fantastic. So our lower body is now warm.
Yeah.
So we're standing in this freezing cold water, got cold air temps, our lower body is warm. That is excellent. Let's now cover our torso. And our torso, I want to cover everything from arms to chest to stomach and what we're doing to keep that warm. So
100%.
I'm going to assume from a layering standpoint, we're going to follow kind of a similar process, or you follow a similar process of a good base layer, a good mid layer, avoiding cotton.
Yep.
Correct?
Avoiding cotton, avoiding bulk.
That's the big thing that I want to talk about right here. And I want to go back to, that scene of A Christmas Story where the kid is like the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man and he can't put his arms down, right?
Yeah, we got to cast, man.
We got to be able to cast, whether we're spay casting or we're nymphing or we're Euro nymphing, whatever it is. We need mobility.
Absolutely.
And so walk me through it as a guide and as someone who fishes year round. What are you doing on the torso to make sure that you've got the mobility still while still staying warm?
But I do put a few more layers on this one.
Okay.
Only because they're easier to remove.
Sure.
I will be so uncomfortable. If I really have to be like on death's doorstep to take my waders off.
Okay.
During the day. I hate it. Once I'm in something, I'm in it. I'll stay there all day. I hate change. And so, but I don't necessarily feel that way with the upper layer. So I still go base layer, and then usually like what I need though is just in case I get hot when I'm rowing or something like that. Sometimes you don't need to completely like disrobe or layer. So I like things with zippers, with buttons, with pockets on everything, because I'm a smoker and a fishing guide. I just got to put a lot of things everywhere. And so sometimes if I get too hot for a moment and I just want to cool down, I like kind of being able to just like zip or do quarter zip thermals, things like that. So to just be able to like kind of, air out. Vests are really good too in this thing. They do make heated vests as well.
They do.
Elk and Alicia had those the other day.
Yes, they did. I think theirs were the Milwaukee brand.
Yeah. And so we live in this time where you can get a heated vest. I haven't done that. I'm not saying I'm not gonna. Because
I wonder if Sims or any of these brands are gonna put out their own.
They
should.
Right?
Sims, Orbis, Squala, whoever else, you guys should be doing this.
Seriously.
It's a no-brainer.
And next, rod companies, man. Just a little 9-volt battery you go in so your eyelets don't freeze. Come on. Do I have to think of everything?
Or your cork handle's warm, so your hand is like a heated steering wheel.
Yeah, totally. We're geniuses.
Yes.
That's a
We're coming at you.
That's a $75,000 idea.
That's right.
So but basically, and like you were saying, we want to keep everything in. So there is things zip up tight. I definitely think about too many hoods, because the other day I had too many hoods. I'm like, 2 or 3 of my layers will have hoods. A lot of people, hoodies are pretty awesome.
They are.
But sometimes you just get too many, and then you throw up the big hood on your shell.
Yeah.
And you're stuck in there. But so a lot of like Sims make some great ones. I just ordered some of those today. They make a pullover hoodie, which is like a puffy jacket on top. Yeah. And then it's all neoprene down in the waders, so you don't have a lot of extra bulk. So it's great, especially if you're rowing. That's a good one. But puffy jackets that pack well, that really what's this stuff called? It's
the down?
Yeah, but it's like the fake down.
Oh yeah.
The
it
stuff
condenses down really well.
Yeah, you want to pack so you can pack it well. You're not feeling too bulky in your waders. Yeah. And then I guess starting from the inside, you're a big fan of like eating and drinking hot things too.
Yeah, we'll cover that here at the end. I do have a hack for our forearms, because the goal here is not getting wet, right?
Yeah.
And I do want to touch on something when you're talking about zippers and whatnot. So winter in the Pacific Northwest and probably anywhere, the moment the sun comes out,
hot as hell.
It gets hot. And if we get hot in our waders, what are we going to do?
We sweat.
We're going to sweat. So the ability to quickly unzip something, unbutton something really quickly, and be able to air out a little bit in the moments where the day is getting warmer, I think is critical. So again, having a good base layer, that's going to be pretty much skin tight. It's going to absorb any of our sweat, any of our moisture. Then going with some of these mid-layer options that Simms and any other brand makes out there that can quickly unzip and then get tight. And I do want to talk, before I get into my hack, I want to talk about the neck.
Yeah.
Even though it's not technically the torso, for me, any of my...
Not quite head either, though. It's just a neck.
It's just... for me, any of my upper body apparel, I want it to be able to come up tight to my neck. And that is for those moments where it is extremely cold out. As we talked about earlier, I want to trap that heat in.
Yeah.
And so I want any of my stuff to be able to come up around my neck, stay tight to my neck. And what that's going to do is it's going to keep all that body heat completely trapped inside my torso, my legs. I'm not going to have anything escaping out of it. Again, with the ability to quickly zip and unzip as I'm getting hotter or colder throughout the day. But like you, I'm 100% beefing up my upper layer below, above my legs and my feet, but I'm trying to restrict that bulkiness. So I really do like the down jackets, whether Columbia Sportswear, Mountain Hardware makes some killer ones that are true down. Great. Problem is you snag those things and all of a sudden you look like you just got shot and you're a bird and there's feathers flying everywhere. So some of the options with the synthetics out there that we have with a lot of our brands are fantastic, and if you tear it, you're not losing your down. So that's a great thing. I want to talk about, while we're talking about torso, an important message here, and that is the layer that goes over all of this. And this is something that I wear almost year-round, during the winter, all day long, and that is a wading jacket.
Oh, yeah.
So here, if you're a winter steelheader, you're going to inevitably be out in the pouring rain and freezing cold temperatures. You're going to wear a wading jacket because you're trying to stay dry. On the Deschutes, I wear a wading jacket in the winter months for a couple different reasons. Number one, if I fall into the river, and I'm wearing my wading jacket appropriately, and we're going to talk about that here in a moment, but that wading jacket is actually going to suck tight to my body, and it's going to prevent water from coming up into the jacket and down my waders. You said earlier, like, you don't want to get out of your waders for anything.
Yeah, that's the only thing.
That's the only thing that'll get you out of your waders.
Absolutely.
Right? I think you got a story about sitting next to a hot fire trying to dry out one day.
Oh, I've got a few of those, yes.
So a wading jacket for me is a must. It is, while it's not warm, and so we've got a couple options here with like this Orvis wading jacket right here. While it's not necessarily warm, that's what all my other layers are for. It's going to keep me dry. Also, if I fall into the river, which is inevitable, it's going to prevent water from coming up and getting down into my waders. It just cinches right around your waist here. The big thing about wading jackets, Zach, have you ever seen anyone wearing a wading jacket and the bottom is inside their waders?
Oh, yeah. Drives me nuts.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah. No tucking.
No tucking.
No tucking.
Untuck it.
You think of it as shingles on a roof, you know? It's like water's got to go that way. I do see kind of more often than I should. People put on a jacket, then put on their bibs, and that's just going to funnel water in, and that is not what we're looking for.
No.
And so, yeah, always keep that outside. Oh, speaking of tucking, though, tuck in to your pants.
Your short.
Whenever you're putting your base layer, whenever you're putting your hoodies or whatever, tuck in, get that, the Wilford Brimley, get a nice, good, like
you're an Italian grandpa.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, so tuck on the inside, do not tuck on the outside. That's got to all go down, and it will work properly.
Because we're trying to ultimately keep everything dry at this point. And that's going to bring me to my hack for the torso. And technically, again, not necessarily the torso, but we're talking about arms.
Extremities, yeah.
Extremities. And we're trying to stay dry, right? And one of the challenges is hopefully your forearms are getting wet. And why would your forearms be getting wet besides the rain?
Because you're catching fish.
Because we're catching fish. That's right.
So if you plan on doing that, keep fish wet, keep human dry.
Keep human dry. And I want to talk a little bit about that because we've all had those moments where we've landed a fish, quickly taking our photo, and we're going to put this fish back in the water. And what inevitably happens is the forearms start getting wet. And if you're like Zach or Gabe and you catch a lot of fish,
you get really wet.
Your forearms are getting really wet.
And then when I'm done, I'm like, yes! and then you high-five your buddy or your guide, and then it all goes down into here, and that sucks.
So I have a little bit of a hack for that.
Yeah.
And is it okay if I share this hack?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. So what I got here, again, we said no cotton. So these are cotton socks, no big deal. It's kind of a synthetic too. It's got some polyester and whatnot in it. And this is not an advertisement for Nike. But we've all got those socks that have holes in them.
Yeah.
And
you got one of them.
One of them.
Yeah.
So this hack is going to mean you're going to go raid those socks. Those aren't serving a purpose for you anyways. So let's get those socks out of rotation.
You're never going to darn them.
Yeah. So we're going to get those socks out of rotation. What we're going to do is we're going to cut the footy part out of the sock. Okay? Yeah. And the goal for this is we're going to create ourselves some wristbands. All right?
Look at that.
Like we're in a 1980s NBA Finals, and our name is John Stockton, and we're wearing too short of shorts.
Yeah.
But we got to have something to, wipe that sweat off of our brow.
Or you're shredding guitar for a Guns
N' Roses. There we go. Yeah,
Guns
guitar guys.
Cover band or something like that.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we're going to create these cuffs, essentially. What we're going to do in this is we're going to wear them just like a sweatband.
Yeah.
Right? We're going to put this around here, and we are going to then take our cuff system on our wading jacket. So as you can see from this, I'm going to try and tuck this in, keep it above my shirt here. And then we're going to take the cuffs from our jacket. And by the way, I got to say, this Orbis wading jacket has one of the best cuff systems in it. But I'm going to take this cuff, this neoprene cuff, I'm going to put it over this band. And then I'm going to cinch the cuff. The Velcro, Sims has one that's kind of more of a stirrup fashion. I'm going to cinch that over. Now what that's going to do is this inevitably is going to get wet. So I'm going to have a few of these in the coldest temperatures. I'm going to have a few of these in my boat. As I'm catching fish, I'm releasing fish, I'm catching fish, I'm releasing fish.
Because he's that good.
Because, well, maybe not me, but you and Gabe and some of our other guides.
Gabe's that good.
As this starts getting wet, all I'm going to do, I'm going to take these bad boys off. I'm going to chuck them into my boat, and lo and behold, my forearms are going to stay dry all day long.
That's going to help.
And that is not even something that any of these manufacturers have. That is your hack. This is us giving you our trade secrets. So don't go selling that to any of these brands, because that's our thing. So
reuse, recycle.
If you don't have socks with holes in them, if your significant other is kind of like my wife, and they throw those socks away, you can always go to, Goodwill or any of our local stores and just buy yourself some cheap pair. Really, all it is about is giving something to cinch that cuff system down on and keep those forearms nice and dry.
Big one.
So I think that wraps everything up for the torso. And next, let's get into hands.
All right.
Because these babies are magic hands, and we got to keep them warm and dry. So let's get to it. Well, this is sweet. I think I'm almost 100% ready to be warm all season long.
We're getting there.
I'm getting there. But next thing to cover, as I said, is our hands. And our hands, man, I will be honest, when the hands get wet, it's kind of, and cold, it's kind of like the feet.
Yeah.
We're miserable. Nothing's functioning. I don't know if you've ever tried to tie a size 20 or size 22 bluing olive when it's 32 degrees out and your hands are wet. It's almost impossible.
Yeah, it sucks. And it's kind of inevitable. So this is just one thing that we have to deal with.
Yep.
But, as we progress through life, we're always going to have problems. You just strive to have better problems. And so that's, it's kind of, a little bit of therapy for you.
Well, let's talk about, I know we have a hack on hands. So let's go ahead and, I'm going to start with the hack this time.
Let's start with that.
Let's start with the hack. And so, again, as we've talked about throughout this entire segment, is what are we trying to do? We're trying to stay dry.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
And if we stay dry, we stay warm. And so I'm going to give you, it's time for your annual exam there, Mr. Carruthers.
It's my favorite day.
You know, so I want to talk, or why don't you talk about
Oh yeah,
gloves?
yeah. It's
And
not
not the
really,
kind of, not the
it's not
kind
really
of
latex anymore. It's nitrile.
nitrile.
Is that you?
Night Rider.
Night Rider.
Nitrile.
Yeah, I like it.
So let's talk about nitrile gloves.
Well, you got a lot of dexterity, and you know you just use them for dirty jobs. You know, you're changing your oil, you're doing something like that. They come in handy. You're cleaning toilets. You're anything.
Yeah.
Really. And so these things really do help because if your hands stay dry,
Correct.
then you will be much less cold. It's just a thing. So these things really help. Ben Glick, like the towel, keeps a microfiber towel or something like that inside of his waders. So just anytime they get wet, dry them off really quick. You're gonna be much happier.
Agreed.
Yeah, you can still strip line. You can still might not be able to tie on flies. I haven't tried that.
Yeah.
I don't use this much, but I think I'm gonna start.
Yeah.
I think
I would recommend, yes, we're not going to be tying any flies on with these. You'll take them off. Have a box in your boat or in your pack or in your vehicle.
Something little that can save the day.
This really is about in between tying flies, having something to keep these hands dry. And ultimately, we're going to wear these. This is not the glove that we're wearing to keep our hands warm. This is the glove that you can wear to keep your hands dry.
Absolutely.
And when you do that, this hack is going to be great. The other nice thing about this, and we're going to talk about gloves and the impact it can have on fish. Zach, you said it earlier, keep them wet. There's a reason why we keep fish wet, and there's a reason why we handle them with care. One of the things when it comes to fish, they've got that slimy goop and gunk on their bodies, right? And the nice thing about these nitrile gloves is you can keep your hands dry, you can handle a fish, and you're not going to remove that protective coating around the fish. And that is absolutely critical to the health and vitality of our fisheries. So this is a great way to keep your hands warm. But it is warm because you keep them dry. But it is not the solution.
Not enough.
Not enough. So let's talk about some gloves then, some actual gloves that we will put on over nitrile gloves. So
I have bought every glove.
I have too.
That they make.
I want to talk about the first glove to not buy. Let's start with that one.
Mitts.
The
mitt thing over. They just snag your running line.
They snag everything.
They snag everything.
Everything.
There's some that are better than others that don't have a button, don't have a magnet, don't have anything, don't have Velcro. Those are better. Still, it happens, and I end up just not using that. Like I need my fingers.
Well, I mean, we have opposable thumbs for a reason, right?
Yeah.
The dexterity of our fingers. I know what all these manufacturers are trying to do. Mitts are extremely warm. If you're a snowboarder or a skier and you don't use finger gloves, most of us don't. We wear the mitts because, again, it keeps that heat inside and keeps everything tight and close. But the reality is casting a fly rod, stripping in line, tying on flies, all these different things, we need the dexterity of all 10 digits.
Absolutely.
And so for us, stay away from mittens of any sort or anything that's going to have something the line is going to snag on, because it just does become an annoyance. And before long, you're like, you know what, F this, I'm not wearing gloves anymore. And now you're back to square one of my hands are freezing cold.
Absolutely.
So Zach, what is your go-to?
These.
Okay.
I know, wool gloves are wool gloves. You can find them at any, Army surplus store. Those all work.
Yep.
These are just very thin merino wool, so they dry quickly, and they also, when they're wet, they kind of stay warm. They
definitely do.
They're not like, you don't want them wet, but if they get wet, it's not the end of the world. They just are they're as minimal and as unintrusive, inobtrusive.
We're making up words here.
They're not as intrusive as anything else. They just, I don't know. These are the only ones that I will do now. I just got through my first full day of wearing gloves all day a week ago, because I just can't handle it. But I'm trying to get used to it because, my fingies get cold.
They do get
And then
cold.
We're not having fun. And the purpose of everything is to have fun. But these things, they're very tight. They're very streamlined. Nothing is wasted. I love these.
I completely agree. A big takeaway is we just talked about wearing nitrile gloves. When you land a fish,
take them off. One, you don't want just wet gloves in your pocket or on you or anything like that. So we don't like that anyway. It hurts the fish. We all, like, I've forgotten.
Sure.
I've totally forgotten. I'm forgetting to tell clients. We mess up, but anytime you can think about it, treat these fish with as much care as you can, and they need that slime.
That's right. So make sure that you remove those. Again, this is where that hack of the nitrile gloves comes in. The next gloves that we have are other, similar to Simms or other brands, again, is more of like a neoprene style of glove. If you forget to take these off, this is going to be less harmful to a trout than our wool gloves. I personally don't care for these, even though we stock a ton of them here at the shop.
I have so many pairs of them.
I have so many pairs of them as well. I immediately go for these wool gloves. Again, we're not going, we're going fingerless on everything. We're not going with fingered gloves. I did say fingered on this.
You did.
Fingerless is definitely the way to go, so we have the dexterity of our fingertips still. Again, stripping line in, all those different things. You want to be able to feel things. If you want something that you can get wet, these are 100% your way to go. But I will tell everyone that's watching this that when these get wet, just as Zach said, I honestly don't even wring them out. They stay warm. I don't know what it is about wool. But when wool gets wet, it still keeps the heat, and so for me, it's going to be these wool. Stay away from the mittens. Stay away from anything with extra clasps, things to get in the way and annoy you. Again, these are going to go extremely well with your nitrile gloves, but I'm going to give you one other hack. Sun gloves.
Yeah. For inside?
For inside.
Yeah,
I thought you were talking inside indoors. I'm not Michael Jackson here. I don't just wear a random...
I mean, it looks cool, and we know that fish care.
The fish do care.
Yeah.
But I actually will use these sun gloves in the middle of winter rather than the nitrile gloves myself. I put a pair of sun gloves on. When I'm rowing a boat, I don't necessarily like having these gloves on. They're bulky. When they're wet, they do get a little slick, even though they try to put this nice little grip there. Again, I want to try and keep my hands as dry as possible. These will essentially wick moisture away. Even when they're wet, they still stay fairly dry. So when I am rowing a boat or I'm getting from one spot to the next and I really don't want to have a bunch of bulk on my hands, I'm just going to have these guys on. But if you're wanting to save $40, you know, and not go that route, then again, the nitrile hack is your go-to. The nice thing about these, I use these all season long, so I will use these in the dead of summer to protect sun on my hands, especially the tops of my hands. I also have a horrible allergic reaction to poison ivy.
That's right.
And anything, the Deschutes, I was out there a week ago and broke out, and I'm like, I don't even know how I got that on there,
covered.
but this for me just protects my skin from all that stuff as well. So
that's nice.
it is a great hack. It is well worth $40. You can use these all season long. Plus, if you're going out to Christmas Island or Belize or somewhere like that, you're going to want those anyways because your hands are going to get fried.
Definitely. And we also got hand warmers too.
Hand warmers, of course.
We got electric ones. We've got, I actually like the Zippo ones, like starting a little fire in my pocket. And we also got those. Those can be day savers for sure.
I want to harp on one other thing, not harp because it's not a bad thing, but what one of our clients does is with that towel, it doesn't really matter what the towel is. You can use cotton in this case, just something to dry the hands off afterwards. You've got great pockets inside of any wader, inside of your wading jackets. Have a towel, dry those hands off. It's going to save you a heck of a lot in terms of discomfort and your hands being wet. So that is the hacks for hands. Hacks for hands.
Hacks for hands.
Hacks for hands. Next, we're going to get into our hair because not everyone has the luscious, flowing hair that you do, Zach. Some people, believe it or not, have no hair.
I know, right?
And so
that's where I'm heading.
Yeah. So let's get into headwear. Man, we have gone from the feet to the legs to the torso to the arms to the hands.
Head to toe backwards.
Head to toe backwards.
Yeah, we're getting up the head.
Now it's time to cover our head.
Yeah, clearly hats.
Hats.
Who knew it? But there's so many different types.
Yes.
The winter time, we obviously beanies are killer.
They are.
I suggest bringing a few, especially if it's rainy. Once again, we got hoods on our wading jackets and stuff. But there's one thing that, like, I really like a brim. It keeps the rain off my glasses. It keeps glare controlled.
Completely agree.
And so, but these things get wet and they suck and they make your head cold, and that's where we lose most of our heat as human beings.
That's right.
So we go the old school 90s skateboarder and snowboarder route, and we go hat on hat. And not only does it look cool,
I don't know that it looks cool, but okay.
It looks cool if you match the colors.
That's true.
And I miss visor beanies. Spencer and I talk about this all the time. Dude, Chad Muska in the 90s, shorty skateboards and stuff. Like, we love a visor beanie. But this works really well.
It does.
Because you got the warmth of this, and if you got an extra, and this, just your bill will get wet, that doesn't matter. It's not touching stuff. Keeps everything off your glasses and just out of your face. And I think that really helps.
I completely agree. So I am definitely in the camp of wearing a beanie, and you're 100% right, Zach. All the research will tell you that the number one spot that you lose body heat is right out the top of your head. And those of you who are not blessed with full heads of hair, unlike Zach, who has a flowing mane, you guys probably already know this. Like, you got to wear hats and beanies no matter what, just because your head is cold or you're trying to protect from the sun. But this really is our go-to, is to wear a beanie. And as much as I don't like the way the beanie and hat looks, it is absolutely important. And I really appreciate the fact that you said one thing, and that is the glare. So, as we know in fly angling, maybe a little less in steelheading because it's a mythical creature and may or may not exist in our local rivers if you're me and you don't ever catch them. Except yesterday. You know, polarized glasses and being able to see below the surface of the water maybe is not as critical. But when we are out there and we're fishing for trout in the winter months, eliminating the glare off the water is huge. And so
you got to see where you're walking too in the winter because you don't want to fall. So
that's true.
Still wear your glasses.
So being able to have the beanie on over your hat, to have the brim to block out some of that sun as you're wearing your polarized glasses is a win-win. So as much as I hate the way that looks, and you know, as much as I don't want to say fly anglers are vain.
Oh,
we're kind of really vain.
Fish care what you look like.
You keep saying that. I've never met a fish that told me, man, you look great. I just wanted to.
Everyone I've ever met, I could see it in their eyes. They're just like, oh man,
they're enamored.
That new jacket you got so tight. That's why I swam over here and ate you fly. Can I get a picture with you?
That's right.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah, big fan of what you do.
I do have one other beanie that I love, and
I think rules.
So I'm gonna. This is not only a chick magnet. This is a fish magnet. And hats like this, I'm just going to tell you, you can put it over a hat like that, but beanies like this is just for those of you who are concerned, you PETA people out there, this is faux fur.
Which means fake, for those
which means fake.
Parlez-vous français or whatever.
So this keeps my ears warm. I have the clasp right here that is going to hook underneath my neck. I look amazing in this. I feel amazing in it. I feel like I'm almost like Zach with this faux fur, and I got instead of the flowing locks, I got just it's I don't know, it's so stinking warm.
Fake chops, dude.
Fake chops. So hats like this are, for me, a game changer in the middle of the winter months where I don't want my head to be cold, and at times my head will sweat wearing this. The other thing is to make sure you have something that is going to lock your polarized glasses in too. So make sure that you have that. But for me, kind of the takeaways, keep that head warm. One other thing that I want to talk about, going back to the neck, since the neck is kind of the connection point, unless you have no neck, the connection point between the head and the torso. One other thing that I do like wearing from time to time, Simms makes some like full head type gaiters. I like wearing gaiters. It is, again, it's going to keep that heat kind of just trapped right in here, even with my wading jacket. So I'll put that up and over my head. I'll put my beanie on, my hat on, and all of that locks into place to just keep all my body heat in there. I'm not having to layer up and layer up and layer up and be like Joseph, who puts on 6 layers. I'm just keeping all that body heat trapped in here. And I stay, even when it was 6 degrees on the Deschutes River, with some of these layerings that we're talking about right now, I was warm. In fact, I went into Maupin that particular day, and we got family who lives in Maupin and Ty Valley, and they're wheat farmers out there. They own most of the land out there. And they saw my truck, and they're like, there is only one person either crazy enough or stupid enough that we know of to be out here fishing when it's 6 degrees. And yep, I'm that guy. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you right now, with all of these things that we've talked about,
it's fine.
It was 6 degrees and I was fine. And you know what else was fine? The frickin' fishing. Because there wasn't a soul in sight. Maybe after all these hacks that we're giving you guys, there would be more people out there, which would be fantastic. Yeah. But the fish love cold temps.
Oh, yeah.
They are, especially trout, steelhead, they're not really ones to like warm water. No. They like cold water. Now it's going to change. We're going to have some videos on how fishing changes in cold weather because they don't move as far. Mm-hmm. But man, when you find them and you hook them, they are spunky.
Oh, yeah.
They have energy. Unlike in the summer months where water temps start rising, those fish practically lay over on their side. They don't necessarily want to be fighting. But when we have those cold water temps, and they get spunky, and I freaking love it. So we've covered everything from head, shoulders, feet, toes. How's that song go?
Head, shoulders, knees and toes.
Knees and toes.
Yeah.
Yep, we got all that covered. Zach, I think we have pretty much covered everything. Is there any other hack that you can give?
Nah, I don't think so, man. Just slow down, pay attention, get out there, stay warm, and have some fun. Catch some fish.
The most important thing that I want to say is there is no reason, now that we've given you all these tools, there is absolutely no reason for people to get out and fish.
Get out there.
Fly fishing is good all winter long. On all of your local rivers. Man, in Colorado, they fish in the middle of what we think is cold weather. They're just out there like living it up. So if you are wondering, can I fish when it's cold? The answer is yes, you can and you should. It is a great escape. Let's be honest, we're getting into the winter months. People deal with a lot of depression in the winter months. Mm-hmm. The best medicine I have ever found for dealing with depression, anxiety, those things that the world seems to really struggle with right now, is getting out of your circumstances, getting out of your situation. It's not going to solve the problems, but getting out onto a river, getting out onto a lake, convening with nature, spending time with friends. Zach and I just got it done on the river yesterday. It's, spending time on the water with you is always one of my greatest favorite things to do. It's better than drugs. It's better than alcohol. It's better than anything that I have found to treat kind of some of those negative thoughts, those obtrusive thoughts. So don't use the cold weather, the rain, the shorter days as a reason to not get out and fish. No, get out there.
Absolutely.
Well, I think that wraps up everything for our cold weather season and how we as guides and people who fish year-round prepare for these days. And so we really want to appreciate you for watching this. We want to encourage you to get out there. Make sure that you hit that subscribe button because we have got a ton of content coming your way, from how-to videos. We've got some videos coming out on news coming up in the industry, so we're super excited to share that with you. Again, hit that subscribe button. We're going to continue to bring the content that you are looking for on Fly Fishing Unfiltered. So until then, we'll see you the next time on Fly Fishing Unfiltered.